welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Hiatus tournament. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I am joined by a new addition to the casting stream. He's a Anonymous Moose. The Anonymouse.
Anonymouse.
Oh,
Some
okay.
some people pronounce it Anonymous. Some people pronounce it Anonymouse.
Okay. So you
However,
prefer
however you feel like pronouncing
the mouse then?
That is how I pronounce it.
Okay, excellent. Good to know. Anonymouse joining me here at my desk, at my side for today's game. It is going to be BRSEK versus Quest Tickles. Division 3 matchup. I mean, I'm not sure what to expect. How are you feeling for your first cast in the VRML?
A little nervous. I've never never casted a Division 3 game. I've casted Globochem though, so that's fun.
Yeah, well, if you've cast them, then I think you'll be just fine. You know, it's kind of, yeah, and to that point, I don't really know what to expect in a Division 3 matchup either. Both these squads, kind of wild cards in my eyes. I especially in 1.8, it's just hard to say what we're going to be, seeing from them strategy-wise. Out the gate, I don't have a ban for BRSEK, so if that's going to be a strategy that they're employing, that's something new right away. But I mean, what do we have? What's the bans coming in from Questicles, Anonymous? Not a mouse.
So from Quest Tickles, they're banning Downfall. So BRSEK did start on quarantine, so they tried to ban one of the largest maps. BRSEK started on second.
Yeah.
Or the first largest map. I don't know. But
I think second is a safe call.
In 1.8, there is a lot more multi-story buildings in quarantine where there hasn't been in the past. So that's it's a little different in 1.8. So we'll see how the teams take advantage of that.
It opens up all kinds of angles, all kinds of new lines of sight, and honestly, it does sort of make the map even a bit more long range. To your point, Downfall is definitely the longest. I guess, well, Snow Peak maybe, but that's not in 1.8. In 1.0, Downfall is certainly the longest range. Quarantine, right there, number 2. Bazaar, probably number 3. And then everything else is just corners and angles. Suburbia, Cargo, Tanker, Subway. All very close quarter maps. And so, yeah, they clearly trying to step into that sort of maybe a weak point they see from Quest Tickles. You know, they have that long range potential here on quarantine. And, you know, to your point as well, this map has gone an overhaul. You know, it has been substantially changed from what it used to be in 1.7. And I know a lot of the Quest Tickles players are former 1.7 vets. I'm not so familiar with the BRSEK roster, though.
So, BRSEK has been playing since 1.7, but I think they are a newer team.
Okay, the tail end of 1.7 then.
Yes.
Gosh, so I mean, that's got to be a challenge to be faced with, right? You're just getting used to the quarantine, and then it gets changed on you for 1.8, an entirely new map to adjust to. But, you know, again, it kind of evens that playing field, right? So, if anything, BRSEK certainly have a good opportunity here to sort of surprise, Questicles with some new angles and such.
Definitely,
And I did get word that we were waiting for a 5th from Quest Tickles, so that we very well may be going into a 5v4 for round 1, in which case, couldn't ask for a easier start for BRSEK, right? To instantly kick things off with that sort of advantage.
Especially with them on Marsoc, which is a little harder to play with only 4 people. So.
Yeah, no kidding. And I mean, again, this changed map, yeah, I think is going to be a challenge to hold with fewer than you're used to. Because, you know, those new gaps that maybe you're not aware of are now even more open because they're not being properly or effectively covered by an additional player on the team. Hopefully they can get their 5th in at some point in this series so they can sort of have a fighting chance, but I think they have a little bit of time before they have to start the round, and so they might just be giving, I believe it's a driver of car who is their 5th, giving him some time.
So this will definitely be an exciting game for week 3 of the Hiatus tournament.
Yeah, it's been a good couple of weeks. I've been fortunate enough to tune into a bunch of games, and we've seen some teams do really well to adapt and practice 1.8. You know, they really put in their time. They've been making sure that they are, you know, prepared for each sort of series, and some teams have done the opposite. You know, they've sort of slacked on their regular 1.8 practice, and they definitely don't seem as prepped for the 1.8 changes. And it's just kind of exciting to see what teams have put in how much work. You know, we saw Aimless Gaming do so well just the other day against SMC. That team certainly looking like a team that has been putting in a lot of hours into 1.8, you know, and it definitely shows. So it's kind of what the excitement of the Hiatus tournament is all about. You get to see how the teams adjust, how they come in and adapt to their new surroundings. And yeah, it is truly a bit of an unknown here for the start of this.
1.8 has definitely divided the Onward player VRML player base on if they're gonna continue practicing, trying to stick together as a team. If they're gonna start to fall apart a little bit. But
I think you really just see a lot of teams taking a bit of a breather, taking a break from playing competitive Onward, and just sort of waiting for it to be in a state that they are comfortable playing in again. And you know, hopefully we get there quickly. Obviously, that's the dream. But yeah, it's definitely a bit of the point of debate. But you know, ultimately for the Hiatus tournament, we're just here to see what these teams can do on 1.8. And you know, I've had some really fun matches to tune into. You know, like yesterday's match with Vikings and boss fight, a bunch of 1v1s, Viper finding clutch kills with bolt action rifles in close range. It was quite a exhilarating back and forth, and the EU teams were playing it very fast. They were done with rounds minutes into them, you know. And so I think that one of the big things that has been changed in 1.8 is that minute cut off from the round timer. I think, you know, you're seeing teams sort of maybe not overcompensating, but overcompensating in the speed department, you know, really trying to put the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, that one less minute is a lot of time. If some teams have been waiting for that last minute to go all out, rush to the objective, now they have to do it a whole minute before, so they might not be completely in position with their current strats. So lots of adjustment to go through with strats and just the game in general.
If you're wondering where the action is, we do appreciate your patience. There's other games going on, so you can tune into those while we wait for the 5th to join here, hopefully, for Questicles. Otherwise, we will be going into a 4v5, not what they're looking for. But like I said, on Master League 1, I believe we have Water versus... oh, who is it? Someone just posted the multi-stream. There it is. Let's get that up. Everyone should click.
Yeah, let's multi-stream it. Don't leave our stream. Watch both of them at the same time.
There you go. Have 3 Onward feeds delivering you chaotic action in front of your face. It's looking like Water versus Mastermind, 4-2 map 1 for Water. Silent Purge versus Beginners. Silent Purge actually just taking a round and now the lead 2-1. And so yeah, good bit of action across the VRML spectrum today, that's for dang sure. And if you want to get Onward, it's no shortage of it. I mean, these Sundays, these weekends are packed. It's ridiculous. It seems like everyone is scheduling their matches for Saturday, Sunday for this Hiatus tournament.
It is definitely a challenge to make a match in the middle of the week, especially daytime matches, which don't happen too often. But
yeah, you know, that is true. I guess they do have a mix of NA and EU in divisions, and so it's probably definitely leans towards the tendency to make schedule those matches in the afternoon. Because I know BRSEK was saying that, you know, they're happy to have the match cast tonight, and you know, it's 12 in the afternoon, or 1 in the afternoon for me, and 3 in the afternoon for the Quest Tickles team. So yeah, that is definitely why the weekends are being heavily favored for this Hiatus tournament. But
and if you guys didn't know, during normal season games, there are multiple leagues basically that play at the same time, and then every month or two, the top of each region plays each other, just to make it easier for scheduling.
yeah, we call it the Button Cup, and it's always a pretty hype time in the VRML community because it's always that EU v NA sort of face-off, right? And yeah, we're getting a bit more of that here in the Hiatus tournament. You know, we're getting to see matchups that we don't get to normally see, and it's fun. You know, it really is just, again, it leans into the whole motto of the Hiatus tournament and being able to adapt to your changing surroundings and seeing how those teams do it. And now we are diving into the action of our first map. Round 1 has begun. Quest Tickles on the defense, doing a bit of a cheer over there. Dare I say, not safe for work.
And my game definitely didn't just crash.
Oh, well, we can get you back in here next round, hopefully, but no worries. I can carry through. Take a look at the Quest Tickles defensive setup. Pars, Gabagool shifting over here to the southeast, and they are looking for that old crater spawn, trying to see if anybody has swung out from there. And it looks like everyone is a little bit forward there. The cheer ultimately getting them a bit delayed, and Dentist able to pick up that kill right out the gate. Parzival's now kind of on his heels, looking for any sort of rotations across the street. More shots from Dentist confirming his down should give Parzival a bit more information to work with. He's going to set up shop on that east side, and I think I'm liking this approach that, you know, BRSEK is, or excuse me, Partisan is working with here. My daily PSA to put your team's name abbreviation after your player name. Coming at you yet again. Third time's a charm. Maybe one of these teams will listen to the VOD. It would be a dream come true. I guess I could call everyone BRSEK. Is that what they want? I don't know. Partisan pushing up here. And this middle ramp up from the parking garage. Neo has eyes on this ramp, though, and should see Partisan poking up here. Does look like that beam was denying some vision. Oh, that's a good nade. Ooh, just getting blocked by the curb. Beefy able to get one on plane wing. Flash comes up and over from Partisan. Doesn't push off of it. I don't think it caught Neo either. Gonna have to watch Beefy, though, because there is a west approach as well. Sanchez and Tankist making their way in.
That was a good kill, confirmed.
So we do have 2 down on BRSEK and all 5 up on Quest Tickles. BRSEK is pushing up into the 4-story. Gonna have to try to get Mr. Beefy off of the plane wing.
Oh, Beefy's got a nade pin pull. He's going to drop that down right onto Sanchez. Uh-oh. It doesn't go down.
Oh.
Oh, wow, it actually works.
It gets Sanchez perfectly. Only a down, though. And Tankist does get the refrag onto Beefy. And now it is a 2v2 with 1 downed on BRSEK. Or BRSEK.
Yeah, Tankist is going to be able to get this res, so Sanchez is going to be up, turning that into that 3v2. Neo and Pwnecake, the final 2 alive. Looks like Dentist took care of Parzival. Now communicating to the rest of the squad.
This is a more difficult objective to defend with all the new cappable spots. You can cap from around the corner next to the ambulance. You can also cap in the little corner next to the objective. So this is a difficult objective to defend.
It is, but there's also all kinds of new defensive positions to take up. Pwnecake is gravitating towards just one of those. He can move up onto these stairs and have a bit of an overwatch out the windows from a lot of different angles. He can check center, he can check back from the south side. If they do manage to push into that garage, he can drop down from the stairs and check inside the garage, but ultimately he's going to sit and linger here by the walls in the south. Dentist definitely has eyes on. They both see each other. Shots ringing in, neither one finding each other. Pwncake's going to throw a defensive smoke, and it's because time has run out. Questicles take the round on time. Does look like BRSEK had a disconnect, which is unfortunate, but I think that might have been post-death? Could be wrong, but either way, yeah, it was. Okay, that's good.
I'm pretty sure it was post-death.
So not ultimately affecting that, but yeah, it's...
Disconnects during the game are never good, because being down 1 player might not seem like a lot, but it's definitely a lot to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, we were just talking about that man advantage that, you know, Tickles were going to go in with. They ultimately did get Neo from that reservist pool to sub in for them, so they are fortunate enough to be able to grab in a 5th and not have to constantly dive into the battle 5v4, but I mean, a solid defensive round from them. They just held their ground, and BRSEK took too long. You know, I also lost track of time. You know, I was not looking at that clock. They lingered too long in the west. You know, Beefy sort of playing spoiler, dropping the nade, being a bit of a disruptor there on the plane wing, just prevented them from really moving fast enough, and time just runs out. And you know, it's a tough thing to keep track of. Although you do get a 30-second beep. You get a beep in your in your ear when 30 seconds are up. So I don't know. It's there's a lot to pay attention to in competitive Onward, and so I guess I can make the exception of losing time.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to keep track of while you're in the game, trying to figure out where all your enemies are, keeping track of the time, keeping track of where your own teammates are. So.
Yeah, and I've been trying to show more of what the regular game looks like, you know, because the players in game don't see the lasers, they don't have the nameplates. It's very much it's a much more raw experience, I suppose, without any of that, and that's what they're feeling in VR, and so you just have to come to appreciate, what a good team looks like and how they know where everyone is and how they, know how to effectively defend together. Sanchez is using some new buildings here in the south to advance himself over early and potentially find a pick-off, I think. Oh, if he was looking just a bit more around the corner, he could have caught Pars on that rotation. He still might be able to.
Tickles and Sanchez gets Neo in the new wire building. Parzival is pushing up on Sanchez. Sanchez does hear him, it seems, and Parzival does get Sanchez.
Solid pickup from him. Needed to get that kill there, and he was almost down himself from that angle. Ponecake, in the meantime, has picked up Tankist in Tank Courtyard, and it is sort of opening up this defense quite a bit, really. Partisan and Dentist, the only two left on objective, and they have one very far away. Young, very far over in the far west side of the map, and if the push comes in now, they may be able to overwhelm the defense. I just don't think Ponecake is working off those smokes quite yet.
The smokes have both died down, but if they did try to push up next to Ambulance, it would have been very difficult for Partisan to see them or hear them with the smokes, and Dentist would not have been able to prevent the cap from that far.
Ponecake opting to shift to the underground, utilize the ramp there in the middle of the courtyard. In the meanwhile, Parzival has pushed himself up into the south. He's looking for angles down onto Dentist and Partisan from the back. Dentist is pretty tucked in, so Parzival's going to have to commit to a cross.
Edge of the map, so don't shoot me if you see someone all the way back.
Oh.
Mr. Beefy is checking the top of, and Parzival gets a kill on Partisan. Berserk gets a kill on Gabagool.
Berserk scooped up Gaba, and Dentist picked up Pars in the south, so a couple of key kills here, because now it really does come down to Ponecake, and ultimately Young does have a line of sight on this street, so if Ponecake tries to cross, he's going to have to check his far right side here, and Young might be able to get Ponecake crossing lazily without any utility. He's definitely lasered in here.
Oh, and Young does get Ponecake with the headshot.
Never mind, I killed him.
Mr. Beefy does get the refrag on Young, though, opening up the west side of the map.
Yeah, he can swing now from the west, and Pars is still up there in the south to radio in what Berserk's doing, and honestly, what Dentist, that's why I put your name tag at the end, Dentist is doing over there. He's so focused on Pars, and I guess he needs to keep holding his angle on OBJ. He does see Beefy there in the middle courtyard. Beefy doesn't ID him in the window, and a nice kill there coming in from Dentist to tie things up. That's what I mean, when you're talking about that being hard to defend. At the same time, there's just so many new windows and angles to hold into, and as Volk, it's so hard to see that dark coloring inside those shadowed rooms. Makes it really hard to sort of be able to identify your target before they find you.
Yeah, with all the new 2- and 3-story buildings, there's just so many new little dark nooks and crannies to hide yourself in. So.
Have to play my new favorite game, Find the Objective. Have you found it? Ah, here it is. Is it here? Yes.
Yes, it is. It is in Burning. That isn't burning.
Yeah. Center 3-story, I guess, is what you could call it now. Because, yeah, it's funny how all these old names no longer really... all the old burning names don't really apply anymore.
Lots of buildings were named on attributes that they had that they no longer had. that they no longer have all the burning buildings, all the wire buildings.
We're gonna have to keep an eye on Ponecake. He is charging up here into a very aggressive position on this top floor. He should hear these footsteps beneath him, so that's information for him to work with. He knows there's at least 2 underneath him.
If he does come out the back side of that building, Young and Dentist are both over there, but Tankist gets Beefy over on the north side of the map.
I'm not sure where Beefy was. My guess is he was trying to push up onto that plane wing again, because Tankist has that sort of line of sight. Neo is here looking for that refrag. Does ID Tankist, finds those shots. BRSEK are getting shut down out the gate here. They are stuck almost at their spawn. 2 in the underground parking lot. Young swinging around here. Shots taken from Ponecake, but none landing.
Young is rotating out into the south. There are no defenders in the south, but he will have a difficult time getting past Gabagool once he moves a little bit more towards the west, towards the objective.
Yeah, Ponecake going down there just a second ago from Dentist, so that forward position now gone, and you can kind of see, I can at least, from a distance, the setup here coming in from the Quest Tickles defense. They have one up on the roof, they have one over by by that engine turbine, and they have Gabagool watching the south. Young tries to swing around, and that's sort of one of those new angles. You know, that's something that you didn't used to be really paying attention to, or you're not really expecting now with these windows being blocked out, and Gaba finding a really tight line of sight there down to the south to pick up that kill.
The last 2 of BRSEK are pinned in the center downstairs. Does seem that Dentist is moving up a little bit, but he does get shot. Only injured though, so.
And he has the utility here. I don't know if that smoke is going to be good. It might be. The flash tried to get thrown. I don't think it landed on Dentist. Neo getting aggressive, finds the kill. He may be at refrag. Sanchez swinging around on the backside. Parzival trying to find that refrag from the rooftop, but can't quite get it. And we're into a 1v2 with about 2 minutes left.
So Sir Sanchez is running along the south side of the center building, right under that, under the tank that Dentist was shot through. Sanchez does see Gabagool, and he gets shot by Parzival from the rooftop.
A good attempt, but ultimately not the right move to make with Pars there on the roof. That courtyard is well covered, and as soon as he was identified, he goes down. A decent defensive setup there from Quest Tickles, and now they have that 2-1 lead. And you know, I'm curious on some play. You know, there's all kinds of new plays. You know, you can, with this objective, I want to see a fast push from the parking lot, because I feel like you could come in from the underground, come up that ramp, smoke your way out of the ramp, smoke your way up to objective, and be punching in code in the rubble pretty quick. You know, of course, it would take the defense to not find you through the smokes and all kinds of lucky things to happen to go your way. But I'm interested if we see anything like that, or if, you know, both these teams sort of stick to the tried and true. That defensive push there from Ponecake certainly was very aggressive and ended up working out quite nice.
We have Quest Tickles in the northeast crater spawn.
Yeah, if I was you, I wouldn't either.
Obviously, no crater there anymore. That's what people love to say, but
There is no crater, but
Fuck you,
there used to be a crater.
There used to be. Trying to take a look at the overall attempt here. Looks like a 2-3 split. Pwnecake maybe going to be low, pushing up on the forward half of the north buildings while 2 swing around over to the west. They're looking for a pinch.
Ooh, and Dentist gets Mr. Beefy from Hospital Rooftop. GABA is now trying to get the refrag, but doesn't. He has seen him.
Yeah.
But
That line of sight, there's not that many other angles Dentist could be shooting from. He can't get that shot from through the window. Sanchez, on the other hand, could have taken those shots, and he is looking to sort of apply some pressure on the flank. If he keeps pushing forward, he may be able to find the backside of the Quest Tickles offense, but yeah, we're going to have to direct our attention up to the north, as this is where the MARSOC has shifted nearly everyone. Ooh, Dentist picking up pars in that long-range rooftop trade. I want to jump over to Neo here because he is getting danger close to Young, who's tucked into the 4-story.
doesn't seem like either of them hear each other. Young is looking at a different angle. Neo is trying to catch him, but it does look as though Young will have the upper hand if Neo comes around this corner.
I think he must have heard something. He's got his eyes drawn here on the corner now, and he swings up and over that ledge. Good pickup there from Young, but he's been distracted. He's pretty far away from objective, and there is a semblance of a push coming in from Pwnecake and GABA.
Pwnecake and GABA have... Oh, and Tankist gets GABA. So now we just have Pwnecake in the center, trying to push up to objective. There are 3 defenders watching.
Yeah, he's surrounded.
That angle, so Dentist will be able to see if he pushes up. Pwnecake does get one of them, though.
The first piece in the puzzle there for him to push his way forward. 1:50 on the clock, so he has a bit of time. And yeah, Dentist is going to be the real true threat element there. Tankist, ooh, Pwnecake with a nice headshot finds Tankist. Partisan is going to have to now swing in and hold around objective. Otherwise, it is all going to come down to Dentist. And I don't know, I'm not sure what Pwncake's plan
Sanchez
is.
is directly behind Pwnecake and gets the kill.
The curse of not having a mini-map, it affects the players as much as it does us now. Sanchez, I forgot about him over there on that east side. I forgot that he rotated southeast and finally does come in and flanks the enemy right at the right time. Tied up 2-2.
This is looking to be a very evenly matched game. They've been
Yeah.
trading points, but we'll see how it goes in a closer ranged map that Quest Tickles wanted to play.
I wonder if it's what they're expecting, because yeah, this has certainly been a good solid back and forth today. A good even keel matchup. Seen some interesting moves come in from both sides, and I want to keep seeing them. Where is our next objective?
It is the one north of Garage.
Ah, yes. Used to be twin buildings over here, no longer. I'm not sure what the courtyard is. Maybe plain wing courtyard. because that is indeed what it is. But that's where the objective's at for round number 5 of map 1.
So we do have BRSEK spawning in the north. It does look as if they're going to push 2 to the west, 3 to the east. Just need to see how far east their east push is going to go. It does look as if the west have split apart. Tank is going around one side of the building. Young going around the other. Tankus does get a kill, but Neo gets the res.
Beefy is over here pushing danger close to Dentist. I don't think he's going to be ready for him. On the corner, crouch. Dentist hears the audio cues, swings the corner, and gets his kill. That the Tankus is down, did get rezzed up, and so they are back to 4 strong on defense. In the meanwhile, Gabagool trying to swing south. Partisan shuts that down. No flank will be coming in for this Quest Tickles team, and it is now 5v3. Scratch that, 5v2 as Sanchez wins his long-range firefight. Neo and Ponecake are the last 2 on objective.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fast.
I'll guess. You stay there. Alright.
Ponecake, it does sound as if he is going to rotate away from objective.
I think you
Or
just
rotate closer to objective.
Yeah, I think he said he's going to cover west. He just wants to be on the other side here of objective. So now they have Neo on one and Ponecake on the other, and this might work out. He might be able to surprise Young if he swings up here.
Ponecake does get Young, but there is Tankus going up the new 4-story that might catch Ponecake. Tankus does get the refrag onto Ponecake, bringing it to a 4v1
4v0
and now 4v0 as BRSEK gets the point, eliminating Quest Tickles.
I think it's Berserk again, you know, it's just the abbreviation of their name, so I'm gonna stick to Berserk. You can say BRSEK if you want, but I think it is Berserk.
I've just been saying BRSEK for so long that
Yeah, well, either way, they are doing well. The 3-2 lead. Definitely a good start to map 1, and I think it is their map pick since they are home, so it is what you want. You don't want to give up your map pick, then go into that map 2 and have the series on the line favoring the enemy team, so we'll see. And I mean, if your Quest Tickles, they're certainly doing well. You know, they're managing to stay in these rounds here and keep this thing close. I don't expect them to give up here on this offensive round either, so we could very well go to a round 7. We're not quite there yet, though. We still got round 6. Let's see what they can do on offense.
Now remember, I
Yes,
haven't
you will.
been shot by. Not with that kind of attitude. Yeah, let's work our
No.
way all the way this way.
Oh man, all the way.
I tried to grab my gun. I grabbed a
Anything on the other
fucking
deck?
Huh? What'd you say, Pocket?
I said
They do have this fast spawn that they can utilize as well, so curious to see how they play into that. It could be kind of a hectic firefight over here on the west side of things if they're not too careful. Sanchez certainly is looking for some action as he charges his way up along this street. He's going to get inside the building. Finds Parzival. Gabagool up next gets the trade, and both of them down and resable. So ultimately,
Please tell me we're down.
Quest Tickles going to come out on top if Ponecake can swing and get these reses.
Ponecake did just check his tablet, but Young, oh no, that window's blocked off, so it does look as if Ponecake will be able to
Hey guys, you can
go grab those reses. There is
I think they can.
Partisan looking
I'm so not sure.
down a very long stretch at that window, so
Okay, I'll just.
Young's right there too.
Ready?
And Ponecake deploying a nice smoke on the corner to cover the line of sight. Gets Pars.
Ponecake does get Pars. Pars is going for the res on Gaba. Gets the res on
Hold
Gabba.
he's through there.
Now it is 5v4.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see how they go from there. Go from here.
Looks like they're going to stick
Does-
to making this west approach. Heavy smokes. Young peeking out that window there, looking for something. He won't spot anything through those smokes, and they're going to keep daisy chaining their way up here with these smokes. Ultimately, not really covering their approach, but they're still making their way up. The audio sound may be dampening them, so Young can't hear, because Young could easily drop out that window and swing the corner and find two.
Young is gonna. Oh no. Oh, maybe. Maybe, yes, Young will get Parzival through the window. He did get Neo exactly like that last time. He gets Gabba as well. Now it is 4v1.
Yeah, very solid double kill coming in there for Young. It all is down onto the shoulders of Neo, trying to get his shots onto Dentist from his south approach, but can't get those. And this is looking like BRSEK taking map 1 unless Neo can pull off a 1v4 clutch.
Neo could possibly go in for the cap, but it would be very risky with 4 defenders.
Ooh, Partisan almost caught Neo there.
Partisan does look as if he's gonna move up. Neo is rotating as well, so. Tankist and Partisan are on the objective now with 1:40 left.
All of BRSEK have their eyes on the comms clearly here, letting him know where they're at. Neo's trying to figure out what he wants to do. Young putting rounds down range from the 2-story, finds him over the top of the wall, and BRSEK take their first map 4-2.
Now we just have to see which map is selected by Quest Tickles. Does look as though Quest Tickles is choosing cargo for map 2.
Yeah, you know, not terribly shocking, right? We look at their ban. It's that downfall ban. They want to get away from the long range sort of firefights, and the quarantine pick was the right choice coming in from BRSEK to go up against this Quest Tickles team. And now that we're on cargo, I don't know how this is going to go. This could very well end up being a bit of a reverse sweep, and we could take it to a best of 3, which, you know, we always love to see.
I was in a scrim the other night, and it came down to the last round of the last map, 1v1. So that was very stressful. It was very difficult objective to defend. But I did get the clutch.
Well, that's what matters. As long as you're getting that clutch.
All that matters.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about the excitement of those best of 3s for us. Yeah, it's amplified even more so for the players that are in VR, experiencing those moments, feeling the heart race and getting that sort of adrenaline in those high intensity moments. It is exciting, and it's definitely something that you have to be used to. You know, some players are not good at playing under pressure or playing with that sort of extra bit of adrenaline, and others just, you know, become a different sort of animal almost.
We'll have to see if Quest Tickles can grab map 2, bringing it to a map 3 tiebreaker.
Well,
BRSEK starts on defense. What?
I wonder what language BRSEK are speaking. Russian, maybe? I don't know. English? Maybe that was calls from Gabagool. As Questicles do push their way forward here, they are taking no time doing it. Sanchez finds Pwnecake, also swings and picks up Gabagool on the corner, a key double. Oh, a nice nade too. Wow, that was an excellent toss there at the window, at the doorway.
Parzival does hear Sanchez gonna come in for the confirm. Neo is pushed very far with the smoke. Tankist gets Beefy, Dentist gets Neo, bringing it to a 1v4.
I don't think Pars is aware of his situation just yet either, but he is all on his own here, and BRSEK are doing a great job of riding the momentum of that map win into this Cargo series. Staying very reserved on their defense, not getting over aggressive. They did invest that one to sort of push out, and ultimately he managed to get 2 before going down, so a worthwhile investment. And now it's just a bunch of crossfire angles for Pars to cross through.
Doesn't look like there are any easily approached angles for Pars. BRSEK is doing a pretty decent job of walling off the objective, so we'll have to see how Pars handles this.
His best approach would be to swing around to the other side of the map there to the east and approach in from there. That does seem to be where there's a bit of a lack of coverage. But 3 minutes left. He could do it. He has all the time in the world. If he keeps going down this track, though, he's going to have to pick off Tankist. Partisan's going to swing out. He's going to have to find that kill. Dentist is going to be right there to look for the refrag. It's going to be a quick couple of pickups, but it's not even going to come through because the trade is going to come out, and BRSEK are up.
BRSEK takes round 1 of map 2.
Oh, yeah, this is a interesting series here. Again, Cargo, I would think, would favor Quest Tickles a bit more. They're sort of faster style of gameplay. Definitely, usually works well on Cargo, but BRSEK have pulled off a very solid defensive setup there for round 1, and I don't really even know if Quest Tickles were ready for it, to be honest. See, maybe they were a bit surprised to be losing that many out the gate on their push, and I want to see what kind of defense they set up, if they're going to get aggressive or if they too will sort of tuck in and stay reserved.
They did seem to want... They did choose Cargo and ban Quarantine,
right.
So it does seem as if this is one of their better maps, so...
Yeah, I mean, it is. That's why it's kind of a bit of a surprise that BRSEK did such a good job. Four left alive there on defense for that first round. Granted, this objective, one of the tougher to attack, but we'll see if that's the case for the BRSEK team as we hop into round 2. Map 2.
Где не можешь, да? Сразу кидаем.
Defensive and offensive smokes coming in here.
Lots of smokes on the center of the map. The center is...
Oh, watch the sides,
almost.
though. Parzival, Gaba, Neo, all pushing in for the backside flank. Dentist goes down, and now they're going to try and hit the back of this BRSEK offense.
Oh, and lots of text in the kill feed.
Yeah.
2 up on BRSEK, 2 up on Questicles, 1 down on Questicles.
Young scoops up Beefy. Tank is picking up Pwnecake. Ultimately, BRSEK again coming out on top. The aggressive defensive push there from Quest Tickles. Not quite working out. It was an interesting move, but BRSEK weren't playing it that slow, and we're pushed up a bit too far for it to work out as well as they were hoping, I think.
BRSEK's I'm confused. Was BRSEK the one that pushed out on defense, or was that Quest Tickles?
That was Quest Tickles. It switches after the round.
Yes. So, Quest Tickles' aggressive defense did not work out how they were expecting. It did seem at the beginning that it was gonna work out well for them, but BRSEK quickly turned that around.
A very quick back and forth.
So what are we doing?
And I want to see again if Quest Tickles are going to come out the gate hot, if we're going to be diving right into that action and have, you know, another 30-second round, because that was a very quick-paced push there coming in from BRSEK. Quest Tickles starting off with pre-fire. It does look like, oh, this is an interesting firing squad setup, waiting for anybody to cross this one main lane. Oh, wow, yeah. Not as fast a push here coming in from Quest Tickles. The suppressive fire and the setup is what's coming out here, though. Gabagool's trying to get into position. Sir Sanchez scoops up Gabagool. A good shot through a nice tight line of sight. Ponecake's going to be potentially next up on the list. Oh, he almost got team killed. Neo finds Dentist on the backside of trade, and Neo is resable. Beefy goes down to Partisan, who finds that interesting angle from the south side. Parzival is going to come up here and be next on Partisan's hit list. No, Parzival finds the headshot in the meanwhile. The trade, the confirm, and the res. So Ponecake back up, Neo back up. They're into a 3v2. Sanchez going to be the next opponent for Neo here. Swings, finds one. Ponecake looking for the refrag. Sanchez opting to go the other way. Ponecake finds the kill. And now it's down to Young on objective. The 1v2, a minute and a half into this round, and a couple of defensive nades and utility getting tossed out. Smokes on OBJ, Pars, Ponecake, setting something up, and Young has to be a bit concerned. These audio footsteps here should be information for Parzival to work with. And a bit of a hush as we get down to this 1v1. Ooh, this is going to be good. The flash around the corner is nice. Parzival completely blind. Young wins the trade. An excellent move. Ponecake now the last Quest Tickles offender to go up against Young into the 1v1. Much time left? 2.5 minutes. Jeez. Ponecake could do anything here. He has. Oh, the hush. The patience. You're talking about that 1v1 clutch moment. This is definitely one of those.
Does look as though Ponecake is gonna go for the same area that Pars was just in, but Young is gonna peek around the corner and get Ponecake, bringing BRSEK to 3 points on map 2.
Yep, they are certainly starting to run away with this one here. It is a solid performance, and I mean, honestly, an excellent comeback there from Young. 6-0 on the kill feed right now, so he is definitely putting in the work on Cargo, but he clutched that one up huge. Finds those 2 picks on the side there, and then ultimately, I think he got 4 kills there now that I'm thinking about it. I think he got 4. I think he picked up 4 players there at the end, so certainly a MVP of Cargo right now, and if he can keep it up, this very well could be a second map into the hands of BRSEK.
Unless Quest Tickles can get 4 points right here. Does look as though BRSEK is going to be winning the series.
Not gonna put anything out of the, not putting anything out just yet. We'll see. We'll see what.
It is always possible, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen the 3-0, the 4-0 comeback, so we'll see if Quest Tickles can break it out here, or if BRSEK are going to lock down the series and get this final round. They're on the cusp, and they're putting out heavy smoke field to get their way up. Beefy throw and finds the ankles of Partisan. Dentist is going to look to find the back of Beefy. He does. Neo quickly swings and should get the refrag onto Dentist, and it's a bit of a back and forth in the middle. Tankus now looking to get into the action. Neo denies that opportunity for him, and Pwnecake finds the confirm. BRSEK into a 3v4 now. No, scratch that, a 2v4. 2v3.
2 up on BRSEK, 3 up on Quest Tickles. 2 of Quest Tickles are on objective. The third Quest Tickle I cannot find. The third Quest Tickle is behind the tunnel.
It's old Neo over there watching that line of sight. He found Dentist earlier in the round, and that angle is going to be important, especially as Quest Tickles lose their defense. Young finds another, the linchpin for this BRSEK team in Cargo right now, and what is this KD? 8-0 now.
It doesn't look as though Neo is moving up to objective, so only Parzival on objective right now. Young in the center diamond. Sanchez coming up with him. Parzival is staying a little bit further back in.
Ooh. Tossed a great nade. Wow, a perfect toss onto Young. And now Sanchez going to swing out. Neo's going to find his back exposed. And a bit of a solid defensive setup there. Quest Tickles are on the board. A much-needed round, obviously, since their series is on the line here. But a solid defensive hold.
It's never too late for Quest Tickles to come back and win the series. Let's just see if BRSEK can continue taking Cargo, or Quest Tickles is going to get some more points.
Yeah, it seems like BRSEK have a solid defensive setup nearly every round. You know, they're very tucked in, they're patient, they're finding those, they're able to shut down the aggressive pushes coming in from Quest Tickles, almost seemingly prepared for them, like they've done their homework. And I don't even think that's possible because there hasn't been a match cast from Quest Tickles yet in this Hiatus tournament. So I'm not sure what they've been doing to prep for this, but they are certainly looking prepped. And doing a great job of securing that map 1, and now obviously looking to get map 2. Just, again, 1 round away. Tickles looking to mount their comeback. The smoke's coming out. That's a great smoke there to deny vision Sanchez up the middle. Neo is going to be challenging Sanchez soon enough in a 1v1 in the doorway. Oh, wow. An excellent nade. C4 detonated on his body, confirms him. And that's a huge pickup. That's going to open up the entry because now BRSEK don't have their forward man. So all 5 alive. The forward defender doesn't find anybody. There's one that goes down to Dentist, but a quick refrag from Parzival evens the odds back into their favor. And it's a resible. So could be 5v3, is 5v3. Could be 5v2, is 5v2. Partisan goes down, and now Young and Tankus, the final 2 defenders.
Mr. Beefy does get Tankus, leaving Young as the only one on objective. Gabba does get the refrag onto Partisan, bringing it to 2v3.
Crazy solid round there on offense from Quest Tickles. Almost like maybe BRSEK starting to get a little bit lax on their defensive setups. That's exactly what they need. You know, it's exactly the kind of momentum shift that this team is looking for. And, you know, a bunch of veteran players, they're not going to give up, especially now that they have a little fire underneath them. So BRSEK are really going to have to step it up here for this next round.
There was definitely a fire underneath them. There was a Molotov thrown by BRSEK that round. It does seem as though they are starting the rounds much quicker on Cargo than they were on Quarantine.
Yeah, that is a good observation. The 1.5-minute round timer between rounds normally, and they were definitely taking it on Quarantine, you know, trying to hash out their strats. And that is because Quarantine has had so many changes. This Cargo map, virtually unchanged since 1.7, and so both these teams have experience on it. Don't necessarily need to get more as in-depth into their whiteboard strategies. You know, they kind of already have plays, and that's certainly what seems to be the case for BRSEK, because they're doing a good job defending and already into a firefight, already finding a kill. Dentist gets Parzival in the tunnels. Also,
Lots of free fire coming out over near the tunnel.
yeah,
See how
it's coming through that green smoke, and it picked up 2 kills for Dentist. Neo's still blind in that smoke as well, so he can't swing out, but if he does, he'll be next up on Dentist's hit list. Dentist tried to take shots there and was out of ammo, so that might have been Neo's life, but I have to wait and see. The full BRSEK offense is just... they're playing defense, essentially. Yikes. Neo and Pwnecake, the final 2.
Neo and Pwnecake versus 3 up on BRSEK now, bringing it to a 3v2.
Wow, the double from Pwnecake, swinging around, cuts him down to just 1, and just like that, it's a 1v2. Sanchez looking to get this frag onto Pwnecake. Partisan trying to call it out. A risky rotation, and Pwnecake able to find the shots through the doorway. They're doing it. They've mounted the comeback. It's 3-3 here on map 2.
If Questicles gets another point, it is gonna all come down to map 3. But if BRSEK gets this next point, they've won the series. So Questicles really needs to get this point and then win the next map if they want to win. There's a lot riding on this round.
Yeah, no kidding. This is round number 7. This is the final round of map 2, and ultimately the decider if we go to a best of 3. BRSEK coming out the gate on Cargo strong 3-0, but now not looking so great. Quest Tickles have snagged the momentum for themselves, and they are trying to put up a final round on offense. And this objective is a wild one for them to have, so I'm interested to see exactly what happens.
Gabagool did bring out the shield. It's looking like he sees Young and Sanchez over on the left side of the diamond.
Pwnecake found one right out the gate, and now Young's trying to get Gabagool down. Parzival's looking for the angle. A trade on the corner. Neo goes down, but Pwnecake finds the refrag. A good pickup there from Sanchez through the middle. Beefy finds one, finds two, finds three. Partisan in a trade. Quest Tickles take it to a map 3.
You were good moral support.
Yeah, clearly they were listening to us talk about how they needed to stay in it, because that is no easy task. You know, 4 unanswered points after losing 3 in quick succession. What a wild shift. And now we go to a map 3. Limited map pool. I wonder where we're gonna head. Suburbia, Subway, Tanker, all on the plate.
We are going Subway. A choice by BRSEK.
Yeah, Subway, a interesting choice. You know, it's a map that has had 0 changes since 1.8, and
The only change has been the lighting. There's a lot of different lighting on some of the darker parts of the map. You just have to look out for that.
yes, indeed, certainly is some new nooks and crannies to sort of tuck yourselves into on defense, but you know, it's kind of sticking with that theme of Cargo, just back to the comfortable space, you know. Suburbia, Quarantine, Downfall, they've all experienced some changes to their map that ultimately affect how teams can play it, and so we haven't really got, I guess we got that out of the way at the start of the series, and now we're sort of gone back to the old tried and true maps, and should be exciting. Yeah, again, we're going to get more of those practiced positions, practiced defenses, so it should be a bit of a tighter back and forth for this final map.
Everything does come down to this final map, so the team that has prepared and practiced more will
potentially
win the
prevail.
series.
You say that, but
Maybe.
not always the case. You know, a lot of these players have invested so much time into the game at an individual level that they can, it's like riding a bike, kind of pop back in at any point to play. But yeah, you know, we like to think that these teams put in the time and the practice to get to where they're at, and yeah, I think we have gotten taking a look at the multi-stream, I think all the other games have finished. So everyone is coming in from the other channels, from the other games, from Master League 1 and 3. We do appreciate you tuning in. You can see the overall scoreline in front of you. We are going to the final map, and I don't know what to expect. I'm looking at the rosters, no subs coming in on either side. Neo going to remain on that roster for the final map. Not opting to bring in Driver. Maybe Driver's still not ready, but either way, you don't really want to sub out A team that's doing good and coming off of 4 unanswered points is certainly doing well.
Does look as though they're taking a little bit longer to ready up. Maybe they'll take a little bit more time to plan on this map than they did on Cargo.
Yeah. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know why we're not in this third map. I would think both teams would be eager to dive into it. Everyone's in lobby. We are already. Maybe a brief. That's what it is. So we'll cut to an intermission. It is a timeout coming in from the other side, so we will take a timeout. Don't go anywhere. The final map in this best of 3 coming at you. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for patiently waiting with us through that brief intermission. We are back, and it is the final map of the series decider on Subway. Berserk on offense, Quest Tickles on defense, and we're kicking things off with a north stairwell objective. So I want to see exactly what this offensive push is going to look like and what sort of defensive setup we're going to see from Quest Tickles. It could be early and aggressive based off of how they're pushing up the stairs.
Flash out.
No, hey, don't peek there. No need.
BRSEK does look as though they're gonna go more to the east horseshoe stairs.
Yeah.
But now they have Partisan pushing north, about to be met by Gaba and Parzival. Partisan does have a shield, so.
Yeah, and he's got Tankist on the Overwatch, so he's trying to identify the corners. Tankist has that rifle. He's waiting for any sort of comms to come in. I think it seems like they're posturing for this, for the push. They're waiting to see if Quest Tickles are going to push out. The problem is again, a minute off the timer ultimately affects, you know, how you can play this map, and if they wait here too long, it's not going to work out. I think they may be considering going. No, they're investing in this north. They're putting utility downrange here. I was going to say maybe they'll go the catwalk and try and push in from the center of Subway, but it seems like they are intent on pushing this north.
They did get that C4, which is definitely very useful for them. If they did not get the C4 and they'd already pushed up.
Yeah, Gaba would be dead right about now. Or Partisan, excuse me, would be down.
Gaba and Partisan are gonna meet. Oh, and Gaba.
Chaos on the corner. Parzival tries to
Tankist
answer
with the
back.
2 kill. Tankist gets 2. Partisan still downed. Sanchez is going in for the res. He gets the res, bringing it to a 4v3.
Young and Dentist kind of hanging in the backside of things, just waiting for the flank to come out. But now that they've killed 2, the odds that a flank's going to come out seem to be pretty low. So I feel like they can pull those 2 to support this north push, because this is it, right? You push down the stairs, and you are at the objective here. You can cap around the corner, and they have no defense guarding any of this. Oh, not a good smoke for Beefy. He's going to try his luck on the corner. Sanchez on the Overwatch picks him off. Objective completely open now. Neo and Ponecake have to rotate. You can see Ponecake now trying to crash down. He's going to have to hard push this corner, and Partisan is patiently waiting.
Ponecake is pushing. Partisan's there with his shield. Partisan does get Ponecake. Neo's moving to objective. 2 of them. Sanchez is capping. Sanchez pulls out his gun, gets Neo, and BRSEK gets the first point on map 3.
Wow. Chaos is what this series is sort of turned into, and that certainly was chaos at the end of the round. He pulled out his pistol and got the pistol kill. I think he dropped his rifle at some point when he pulled out his pad, and then he didn't have any gun, and so he went down for the pistol to finish it off. But wow, what a bit of a chaotic corner crash there. And again, if they just had maybe 1 or 2 more of their offense there to sort of put down some suppressive fire, they could have potentially punched in the code and had 2. But hey, 1's good when you're going on offense, right?
1 is great.
I mean, what do you prefer on this objective? You know, are you sort of a guy that pushes up on defense, up the stairwells, and challenges with utility, or do you prefer to invest in maybe some C4s on the stairs and hold back?
On this objective, I normally sit back in the north stair tunnel area, and a couple of my teammates will normally push up, and throw a C4. Sometimes we'll even go for the suicide bomb C4 down the alley.
Yeah, that is a solid strat. Sort of unpredicted too, you know. And you can do that a bunch of different ways, right? You can pull a pin on a nade, put it on your chest and around the corner. You can have a C4 on your body and ready to be detonated. There's several different options to sort of put that rush corner push out there, but yeah, interested to see. I mean, we saw a heavy utility investment from Quest Tickles. I want to see what BRSEK are going to do now. I think I do prefer hiding the C4 on the stairs. I feel like that's the best way to slow down the offense. And with a minute off the time, if you can slow down the offense, you could very well take it to that, you know, round timer where then ultimately they can't even have enough time to cap.
It is definitely always good to slow down the offense, especially now that there's only 5 minutes in the rounds. Does look as though Quest Tickles is going pretty aggressive north. They've Parzible's rounding the corner, free firing.
I think they also invested one in the south, and Young picked him off. So it's going to be the 4-man push from the north. There's a C4 placed on the stairs. Nicely tucked in there. Going to be a hard one to get rid of unless they're on top of it. And Partisan and Dentist holding up on your position that you like. And they're trying to stay kind of camouflaged. You can see Dentist is up against this black grate here trying to sort of blend in. Partisan trying to get very far back up against that wall, and we'll see what Parzival can find through the smokes. Nothing as the C4 detonates.
Parzival gets killed by the C4. Dentist gets Gabacool as he runs down there. Parzival does get confirmed, and Neo is pre-firing. Lots of shots going off, hitting the stairwell.
Dentist really wants to make sure he's killed those bodies.
Yeah.
And, you know, we talked about just delaying the enemy. This is all he's doing. This is what Dentist is doing. He's got 3 more mags. He can reload. He's got Partisan to cover him when the push happens, but Partisan not watching him. Pwnecake with a double.
Pwnecake gets the double, as you said. Partisan is still down, though. Sanchez is rotating back towards objective. Tankist is coming from a bit further, but he's also running back towards objective.
Wow.
And BRSEK does get the point as they eliminate the last 2 Quest Tickles.
Sanchez had an excellent flash around the corner, and I think Partisan was calling out for it. He was calling out that you flashed him, and he quickly swings the corner and picks off both. And I was about to play a replay of the double just before that, but the back-to-back double kills from both sides ultimately end in BRSEK with that round win. And that north corner objective always is chaotic. It definitely delivers on the chaos front almost every time.
This north corner objective is definitely the most chaotic objective on Subway.
What's your number 2?
Number 2 on Subway is probably the all the way down one.
Yep, that's exactly where I was thinking as well. It's certainly a tough one. I mean, also the market up top is pretty tough to defend from if you have, depending on spawns and how the team approaches, especially now with that sort of, you have to watch the catwalk, you have to watch your flank, you have to watch the north entry. There's just more places for the enemy to sort of infiltrate, and I don't know, Subway is not an easy it is not an easy map. It's definitely one that I think kind of requires a bit more of a veteran approach to it. You know, stay tucked in on your defensive positions, outline where you want to go ahead of time. And we talked about a minute and a half between rounds. We're seeing that right now. You know, this is Quest Tickles on the back foot. This is the series on the line, and these teams are taking their time to make sure that their strats are in order and ready to go for the next round.
Objective. Are we going for? Oh yeah, this is the middle objective. Lots of places to attack this objective from. You can attack this objective from the underground tunnels in 3 spots. 2 stairwells in the middle, 1 stairwell from down the train tracks next to the objective, right over here. Mr. Beefy is gonna go try to keep that push from happening.
There's no underground investment coming in. 3 up here in the catwalk, 1 going north, 1 going south. We're going for a pretty wide spread and approaching it from an, I would argue, the harder side. I think I agree with you there that coming up through the tunnels is certainly the most effective way to be right on top of objective. I think clearly Quest Tickles recognize that weakness as well. They invest Beefy right away with pre-fire and everything to make sure nobody can get that set up, but we'll see. This might work. They could potentially have some good firing lines from the stairs down onto the defense, but I'm looking at this defensive setup and nobody's really exposed. Everyone's pretty tucked in around corners.
For the offense, we have 2 going through the horseshoe stairs. 3 going through the horseshoe stairs now. Young still could be going through
ABC.
the south stairs
Can you
or
repeat
horseshoe.
that? Can you repeat?
And then we have 1 north stairs. Does look as though it does look as though Tankist is about to peek around this stairwell. Doesn't look as though anyone's exposed to him. Mr. Beefy is the most exposed, but he blends in very well. Tankist does get Beefy to get the 5v4.
And BRSEK are really looking good right now. They have this early advantage on offense. They're up 2-0. This objective arguably pretty capable too. If they get the right utility out around it, they certainly could potentially find themselves with an opportunity. Ponecake is looking for himself with an angle. He is blended very well. You said those dark corners hard to spot, and Ponecake proving that to be the case as he finds a nice long-range angle. Meanwhile, Neo is on a flank. Sanchez denies that from finding any success.
Gabagool and Partisan over in the north. It doesn't look as though Partisan has seen Gaba. Gaba does see Partisan though. Gets the kill on him. Dentist might be able to get the refrag if he comes down.
You think he heard the silence shots, though? That's the question. You know, how well does that silencer dampen the audio? Because if he didn't hear Gaba, then there's other potential angles that could have found that shot, you know? And so he has to check all of those. But Gaba, yeah, Gaba is pretty exposed, and if he's not going to hold that stairwell angle, Dentist does have the opportunity. There's the nade. Oh, that's a flash. Did that get Gaba? I don't think so. It might have, actually.
No, I think that was too far from Gaba.
I wonder why he's not watching where it came out from then. An odd choice not to hold the stairs.
Gaba did pull out his tablet. Gaba's now watching the stairs.
Yeah.
Dentist did pull back a little bit.
Where is the remainder of this offense? Let's take a gander. It looks like Young may be running into Parzival in short time. Sanchez is going to work his way to reinforce Dentist. But Pars is here. And I doubt Young is going to be ready for Parzival tucked in. Pars got C4 in hand too.
Pars downs Young. Gets the confirmation with that C4. So it is just 2v3, 2 left on BRSEK. Just Dentist and Sanchez going through the horseshoe stairs.
Oh, Dentist not checking the angle. Gaba doesn't see Gaba tied up against that dark oak.
One up.
And almost like an owl on a tree, Gaba blends in and finds the kill. Now Sanchez into the 1v3 and almost no time to do it. 10 seconds on the clock. He's trying to find kills. He's trying to find Gaba, but he just does not have the time left.
Quest Tickles do get the point.
Some choice
It was
words.
about to come. Yes, definitely some choice words. Tickles was about to get the point on time, but they did get the last man on BRSEK.
Yeah, and man, that could have been different, right? If they find that kill over on the north side, if Dentist gets that pickup, you know, it's a 2v2, they're charging on objective. Yeah, it's a bit rushed, but who knows what could have happened there. So a nice hold from Tickles, gets themselves on the board. And what is, you know, the series decider map 3. So everything's on the line here. I don't expect either one of these teams to really roll over. And BRSEK now going on the defense. We'll see how this one shakes up for round 4.
Tinkus does look as though he's planting a C4 on the horseshoe stairs. Doesn't look as though... Oh, maybe. Tickles is sending Gabba and Parzival horseshoe stairs by the looks of it. They will be running into their C4 shortly.
I wonder... So, can he hear from down there? I guess he can hear these footsteps from down there.
Yeah, very, very faintly you can hear the footsteps from this Coca-Cola tunnel without the vending machine anymore. Now there's just ATMs.
Oh, and I was about to say an interesting place because it could potentially not find its targets. The C4 does miss Beefy, picks up Young, and this defense now not looking too strong. Tank is very exposed, holding this angle. Beefy could easily find the shots to his back, but isn't swinging, and it's a bit of a hesitant back and forth here as we get into the 4v4.
That C4 was just a little too early. If they just waited an extra second, Pars would have been just under it.
Neo's gone through the underground route and managed to get into these stairwells here, so he's really kind of in between all of this defense and waiting for Pars and Gabba potentially to clean up some angles. In the meanwhile, Beefy is working his way underground, and he may be challenging Partisan shortly. We'll have to be sure we tune into that. Gabagool, he's going to swing and look for the angle onto Tankist.
Partisan doesn't actually have a gun out. Partisan just has a flash and a detonator. The detonator is for the underground stairwell, but they have not sent anyone down there. So Partisan doesn't look like Partisan's going to have very much use for that C4 unless Mr. Beefy comes up through there.
He's very well camouflaged to those. You know, very hard to identify. Tucked back in there. Oh no!
Oh! Dentist gets Partisan with a team kill.
Saw some movement in the dark and took the shots.
This is going to be the perfect time for Beefy to come up through the stairs as there's no one with the C4 trigger.
Gabagool
Oh, and
also
Beefy
moving
does
in.
hear Partisan, gets the confirmation on him.
Yeah, this is good. This is looking good for Tickles. Beefy's in a very good spot. Gabagool's in a nice spot. He can shut down any sort of rotation. And so Dentist and Sanchez have to stay tucked in. They can't really afford to move out, and this could be an opportunity for Beefy to work his way up to the OVJ and punch in the code. 1:10 on the clock, though, so they don't have a ton of time.
Neo will be very exposed to Dentist if he peeks out though, but it does sound like Neo heard Dentist shots. Mr. Beefy could throw some smokes onto the objective and cap it.
Yeah.
There are
Well.
some smokes going out. Doesn't look as though they've completely covered Dentist's vision. Oh, but there are two now. This looks very good for Quest Tickles. Dentist is not rushing the objective, which he definitely should be doing right now.
Sanchez
Neo is going for the cap. Sanchez is rushing the objective. It looks like he's a little too late, and Quest Tickles gets the cap.
Nice job from Neo to work his way up and punch in the code. And I mean, what a comeback right here from this Quest Tickles team. They have managed to bounce back from a 3-0 deficit on Cargo, and now here to come back and get themselves a cap. Now they have the 3-2 lead. Now they go to what could be series point here. The whole kit and caboodle comes down to this defensive setup.
Quest Tickles just has to hold those angles, not get too aggressive, and hopefully luck is on their side.
Yeah, no kidding. That's you know, if it's not, it's either BRSEK punching in the code and snagging a cap of their own, or we are going to a round 7 or a round 6 technically. But you know, we're taking it to that 3-3 score line, which hey, I wouldn't complain about. But we gotta see how things are gonna shake out. Quest Tickles on the defense, and they're up on one of those. You know what we addressed as a certainly chaotic objective, the market OBJ, and no really quick movements coming in from BRSEK. Ponecake gonna capitalize on that since he has time to set up and get Sanchez.
Does look as though they're doing they were going a 3-2 split, but now that one of them's down, oh no, it's gonna be a 2-1-1 by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Young on the south stairs, two of them up on the north stairs, and Dentist watching the bottom tunnels a little bit.
That's going to be a good entry point for them, too. If Dentist can manage to work his way underground, pop up here, and get rid of Neo, I don't know. I like this Quest Tickles defensive setup when I look at it.
Quest Tickles definitely has a pretty strong defense with Neo watching.
Yeah.
Neo watching these stairs, Mr. Beefy watching this another angle.
Yeah.
Parzival watching the north stairs, Gabba and Ponecake watching east, so they do have all of the entrances covered. Now they just have to hope that they can get the kills.
3:15 on the clock for them to work with, so not a ton of time, but for how far away they are, it's just out of reach almost at this point. Tankist and Partisan inching their way forward. Parzival again waiting for that push to happen. I don't know what Young is doing. I think he's probably waiting for the timing for the rest of his team. But Dentist certainly hears this, and Dentist might be able to find two here? No, but Dentist definitely getting information off those comms.
As you said, Dentist is right under Neo and Mr. Beefy, so he must know that they're there at this point. So he's probably going to take it a little slow, make sure he can pop up and get Neo. Parzival gets Partisan with the C4. Gets the confirmation shots off. That north stair push is now down to a 1v1. Neo gets Dentist with another C4.
Confirmed him
And
with
the
a nade.
confirmation with the nade.
Ooh, that's a good flash from Tankist up and over. Gabagool's completely blind in the corner, and Tankist now able to work his way up this alleyway and get that much closer on this north side. Gabagool really the only defender on objective. Beefy swinging out. Gaba finds his kill. Quest Tickles lock it in and take the series with a map 3 win, 4-2.
So, yep, that is the end of the series. Quest Tickles took it on Quarantine. Then on Cargo, they were looking they weren't looking too good with Berserk's 3-0, but they did come back.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, then they just rode that momentum into that third map, and a solid bit of work from the Quest Tickles team. It was looking like a Berserk series there. You know, out the gate on Quarantine, Berserk were looking very clean. Out the gate on Cargo, they did fantastic to get those first 3 rounds, but Quest Tickles finally turned it on about halfway through the series and put up some points that they very much needed, ultimately winning them the series. So a very good job for them to come back, and a fun series to tune into on your first cast into the VRML, Anonymouse, I gotta be honest.
Yes, it was definitely an exciting one. Lots of action.
What do you think of the Division 3 gameplay? A little bit better than the scrims you've been tuning into, or about on par?
The Division 3 gameplay is very, very different from team to team.
Yeah,
some
true.
teams like to play it faster, some teams like to play it a little slow. Looks as though Quest Tickles was trying for the slower. BRSEK was going for the little bit faster.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. And like I said, it was working for him for a while, and then finally got shut down. And a great series to tune into. A shout out to everyone that has been dropping by and did hang out with us through maybe potentially multiple games. There is going to be more action here on Master League, on the main Onward Master League channel, in just an hour's time. So you're going to be sure to tune into that. But it's going to be it for us here on the desk. Shout out to the mods for organizing the Hiatus tournament. Shout out to all of our sponsors. You've seen them ticking across your screen. That'll be it from us on the desk. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster Anonymouse. And we'll see you all next week.
See you next week.